So, a very interesting territorial dispute with a quite unique way to resolve it. This squabble was between Canada and Denmark. Greenland, as you may know, is a territory of Denmark, and there's an island sort of halfway between Greenland and Canada that was disputed territory. But they didn't want to threaten or attack one another over this. They both wanted to lay claim to it in a gentle way, in a peaceful way. So they started to lay flags first, and then it moved on to gifts, and sometimes quite expensive gifts, back and forth. They were sort of responding in kind to each other, trying to one-up each other, who could leave the coolest items behind. Whiskey, of course, being one of them, very expensive whiskey. And that's how it got its name, Whiskey Wars. And the best part is it came to a peaceful resolution, a sort of a nice, final, good-natured agreement between the two countries, and they decided to share the island. So it's not often that we get to tell a kind of dispute story, a squabble story, where it has a very sort of genial resolution.
Yeah. I mean, there are like a little bit of these veiled threats here and there, but nothing compared to the threats that are made in other territorial disputes that can cause really bad consequences. This was, of course, all in good fun. The dispute was real, but the claim of the island was all in good fun. And they came to a conclusion. I don't think it was a huge priority because it did take them a while for this conclusion. Why does Canada, why does Denmark want to lay claim to this Hans Island, I think it was called, this island?
What is the purpose of it? Is there oil there? Is there good fishing rights there? I mean, that's normally what it's about. What do they have that is so interesting to these two nations? Maybe not much, which is why they decided to share it.
Yeah. I guess the only thing I could think of is the island. If you do have land, the immediate sea around the island is technically your sea. And that does open up some nice opportunities for oil, but also for trading and taxing that trade if someone passes through those waters.
Definitely, yeah. I guess also it could be strategic. You know, maybe it's about stationing naval ships there.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I know, what is it, Timor-Leste and Australia have a continued dispute because they're very close to each other. And they're always arguing over that bit of water in between, you know, who owns what, to what extent. So I wonder if they've ever gotten to a conclusion.
Maybe they should try giving a bottle of whiskey.
Just in the middle, in a buoy in the middle of the ocean. Just
Yes, it might soften the tension. Who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe we could try it with Japan.
Maybe, yeah.
Or soju. We should send soju. Expensive soju to Japan. Maybe it's too late for that. Too much bad water under the bridge.
It's over the bridge at this point. It's everywhere. It's all over the bridge. What did you think of this conflict? I mean, would you think that this is a more common way to end conflict?
I wish it was a more common way to end conflict, that we could come to peaceful resolutions. It seems very humane for once. But again, that's my guess is because the island itself is of little consequence to either side. I mean, I suppose for the Danish, the issue of Greenland is a little controversial. I think, you know, Greenland have been getting increasing levels of independence since about the 1960s. I saw a really interesting documentary about it. And who knows, maybe in the future Greenland will become fully independent as a fairly small nation. So that might destabilize the Danish claim to the island.
Or maybe Denmark wanted the claim to the island so that when Greenland does become independent, they do have still some hold in that area of the world. I could see that pushing some diplomacy along.
Let's dig into the vocabulary we've met in this article. See you next time.
Squabble.
Squabble.
Lay claim to something.
Lay claim to something.
Impunity.
impunity,
one up,
one up,
veiled,
veiled,